Cormac McCarthy fans, we are broadcasting live from the center of Tucson, where the Glanton gang rode through. And in this dry lake bed, I probably have a higher chance of seeing a bum than a rattlesnake. But today we are here to talk about Cormac McCarthy's genre-bending fiction, because what genre box do we put Cormac McCarthy into? Is he literary fiction? Is he Western? Are his Western novels Westerns? Is The Road science fiction? Are his first 4 books Southern Gothic? And I'm sure most of us would agree that McCarthy's novels are literary fiction. His prose, his elevation of the King James Bible literary lineage puts him up there higher than most of the 21st and 20th century literary fiction authors. But in his later works, he starts to move into trope and genre land with the Border Trilogy. The Border Trilogy features 2 protagonists who are attempting to revive this individual heroic consciousness from the Wild West that John Grady Cole sees in his ranch, that Billy Parham awakens with the wolf. However, we aren't granted a better reality, and that is one of the Western tropes, is that the hero is not rewarded. Both characters, by the end of their respective novels and at the end of Cities of the Plain, are in a worse position than when they started. At the end of The Crossing, we see McCarthy start to play with the atomic bomb. And the real killer of the individual journey of individuals of the Wild West was destructive military capacity. There is no longer a safe place in the world. Most of the time you can be found if the proper people want to find you. And this is heartbreaking for John Grady and Billy, who go down to Mexico where things are a little bit more Wild West, but where failed socialist revolutions and problems, related to colonialism and whatnot, have prevented the Mexican people from really establishing a just court system and civilization, at least in the areas that they are occupying. So when we progress to McCarthy's next book, No Country for Old Men, it's also just very classic. And I know it started off as a screenplay, and movies have to be much more genre-oriented for marketing because they put a lot of money on the line. But McCarthy does subvert the typical Western, because we have Llewellyn Moss and he finds this money, and most of the time we expect this guy to get away. We expect him and his wife to make a break. There's going to be problems. Maybe the wife gets kidnapped, gets beaten up or something, and he rescues her, or he rides off into the sunset. But especially in the book, halfway through the book, he's basically done. He's dead. His wife goes down. The sheriff can't do anything. It subverts the whole genre with evil winning in the end. Because in Westerns, there's usually this glimmer of hope, and the only glimmer of hope is Sheriff Bell's dreams and whatnot, but those seem to be symbolizing kind of this fading reality, this fading world that can't keep up with the old world. And that's very literary fiction, because I'm assuming that Cormac wrote that novel because he was feeling weird about getting old. His autonomy and stuff was leaving him. One of my favorite lines in that novel is, the only good thing about getting old is dying. And those are things that someone who was very into traveling, into womanizing, writing like McCarthy was, those are things that you reminisce on. Another cool contention is, we could say, does McCarthy belong in the horror genre? Because if Blood Meridian was put into film and was accurately depicted, it would be nothing like it ever has been released like that. Constant scalping, raping, pedophilia, just brutal war scenes, exploitation of all different types of people, just endless killing. It's very rare do you get that, and there's a literary thread through it. If we look at his, Southern novels, we have Child of God, horror elements, Outer Dark, very dark. Even The Orchard Keeper has elements of darkness with Kenneth Ratner and Marion Silder's confrontation. Outer Dark, is so suspenseful. It seemingly is like there are hauntings. Sorry everyone, it's literally 95 degrees out here. I'm in the Blood Meridian gear, repping it. This is the only shade. You guys, let me show you guys. There's a couple little trees here, but this is what we're dealing with out here, everyone. Anyway, Outer Dark is haunted by unknown forces and people. The Triune, a lot of these characters, the Squire and the killings that are happening because of him. All of this is there. Then obviously The Road. In The Road we have this, even though that's very easily apocalyptic, dystopian, whatever we want to call it, he does play up the elements of horror and amputees who are being cannibalized on, and all these people locked in rooms together. A lot of dystopian novels take a totally different direction. They play with ideas of revival or viruses or whatnot, but McCarthy ignores all of that and focuses, one, on fatherhood and the journey in carrying the light, but also these very dark things happening around them. So let me know your thoughts. Do you guys think that McCarthy is a genre writer or kind of walks the line between genre and literary fiction? Or is he just a straight literary fiction slinger that's just very diverse? That's what I probably would say. But I think there's some good points to say that some of his work tends to genre out.